a damn Alabama fan and proud of it. Gump Nation forever, brother.
Namath again faking, quickly finds his target.
Now cuts in. He's at the 40-yard line. He's at the 40.
Quick drop throws in the end zone.
Each number represents an expectation, a challenge that only a championship tradition can issue.
Pressure. Anders hits him. The ball is loose.
Alabama, here comes the heat. Cornelius Bennett. Whoa, did he get lit up?
It is an endless passing of the torch that urges the wearer to enrich his legacy.
Brings pressure up the middle in a hurry. They can't get away from Dante. Alexander first down and more.
Richardson breaks free on the sideline. Turns the corner. Can you say goodbye?
Because at Alabama, tradition is not retired. It is built.
I'd like for people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Alabama defeats Miami College as the season.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Roll Tide family, Roll Tide to everybody up in here. Thank y'all so much for being up in here. In case y'all missed it, we are Bam Down, a damn Alabama family, and proud of it. Gump Nation forever, brothers and sisters. Thank y'all for being up in here. Appreciate y'all. And if y'all fence riders want to jump on over here to our side, kind of get up on the wagon, you're more than welcome. But if you don't, you're still welcome. A lot of love. We do appreciate y'all. Before we get up in here, let me go ahead and bring on the brother, Mr. A.T. himself, Alabama Tide. Come on down, Deuce.
It doesn't just roll out great players. He and his staff develop them. It's all about the process.
Roll Tide, A.T. How's it going, brother? How's it going, sir?
Doing good, big man. How you feeling?
Doing great, man. Doing great. We got a title of the show now. Let's put a bow on Mercer, Oklahoma. You next, brother. Y'all next. So what would you like to start off talking about the show tonight?
Well, guys, I'll tell you right up front, the Spencer knows I didn't do no grades this week. The Mercer game, they're all going to grade out 80, 85%. It really was a waste of time. So I didn't do any grades this week. So, I've been curious on Pritchett.
I've been curious on Pritchett. Pritchett's still a little iffy over there, a little iffy on that tackle position. Still having my doubts on Pritchett.
Yeah, I agree with you. They talked about it. As a matter of fact, there was one part that you could talk about is they said that they're actually getting better in pass protection, and you can watch and see. Mercer, you really can't tell because of the competition level wasn't there, but they did against LSU. They played their most complete game of the year, and they done well. And the offensive line actually protected Milroe better against LSU, and they have pretty much anybody all year long. So I think they are getting better. It's like I said. Hey, NCAA, if you're going to get Alabama, you better get us now because it's fixing to be Katie bar the door. It's too late.
There you go. Anything you would like to talk about in particular about that Mercer game? Let's put a bow on it before we move on. Anything you like to talk about?
Well, I watched it like you did. I wanted to see a complete game like we did against LSU, and I wanted to see them not pull the hammer off, and they didn't. They kept it down. They beat them 52-7, which, by the way, I was 3-0 last week on the Pickem. Hey, Icebox, just to let you know you're 2-1. But no, seriously, Mercer, they're supposed to run, and they didn't. They're supposed to run a hybrid offense similar to what Vanderbilt ran, and that's what I was worried about. And then, of course, also excuse me, I didn't know their quarterback, their starting quarterback, was actually out for that game. He was hurt, so maybe that's why they didn't run that particular offense. This kid is in there didn't know how to run it like he did, so maybe they didn't run that. And I'm glad they didn't, because that running that day gum against Vanderbilt against us, I was so irritated all day against Vanderbilt, I couldn't see straight. But now Mercer, they after I found out their quarterback was hurt, they're what I expected. What did you think about it, Spencer?
Me personally, like I said on Monday night, the score was misleading on what the actual game and stats said. It was very easy for everybody to, kind of get lulled to sleep because, the 52-7 score. But when you break it down and really look at it, there's still a lot of improvement we got to do. These guys were coming up on Oklahoma. These guys can't get confident that that's the type of effort that they can put out every game and expect to win. The stats are really too close on offense and defense against a less talented foe for the SEC and Alabama talent. And I was disappointed in that one. I was happy with the score. Don't get me wrong. I was happy with the score. Yeah. But I would love to see the play on the field show the dominance of the score. The time of possession, I'd love Alabama to be way up there, controlling the game, running it, controlling it, third down after third down after third down. I would love to see Alabama stopping them on third down conversions left and right. And it just wasn't there. Now, granted, later on in the game, we was bringing in more people, which I'm glad. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I love we won. I love it. Sometimes we got to get real because we got 2 losses. We can't afford another loss or we're out. That's just facts. Go ahead there, AT.
No, I agree with you 110%. Every game since we lost our second game of the year against Tennessee, from here on, we're in the playoff. Every day, every Saturday we play, we're in the playoffs. If we lose it, we're out. So, right. At 10-2, we're going to get in. Y'all have seen the rankings and all this stuff, which we got the rankings here later on. I'll talk about it, or we'll bring up a picture of it. But they, the only thing I didn't, they didn't, when they went to the backups and they didn't score that touchdown and stuff, I was hoping to call a timeout and put the starters back in, like he did that one game, because that right there fired me up about Alabama's coaching staff more than any other thing they've done this entire year. Is when they called timeout against, who was that we blanked? They called a timeout, keep them scoring touchdown, put the starters back in. Right now I'm drawing a blank in my head. But anyway, I enjoyed that because it showed me the coaches got a little bit of that, mentality. He's gonna cut your throat, and he ain't gonna give you no kind of mercy. He's gonna whoop you as bad as he can. So I was hoping they'd call a timeout. LSU, no.
No, we got to 0. It's the team we got to 0 on.
Right, and that's all it was. I just wanted them to show that same. Yeah,
Mizzou.
I wanted them to show the.
It was Mizzou.
Missouri, yeah. I wanted them to show the cut through.
Anyway, go ahead.
Broke up. That's okay.
No, that's what I said. LS Mizzou.
Okay, all right.
He been drinking again.
Something wrong. I don't think it's drinking. I think it's paper. Getting that paper buzz.
Right, and if the coaches got that cut attitude, that mentality, that want to stomp and kick and beat you the entire game,
right, that
can transfer over the players. If the coaches take it easy on another team, then what are they going to do? So that's something I wish they had to stop that. That one touchdown call timeout, but they didn't. So hey, we're on to the next game. Putting a bowl on Mercer, and as far as I'm concerned, Mercer, like I said, their starting quarterback was out hurt. He didn't play, so we didn't get to see how good they really were, which that's fine with me. Now we got Oklahoma coming up. We got them bunch of rednecks out there, and I don't think Oklahoma is going to be a challenge to us, Mr. Wrigley.
All right. Well, before I go on to that one, before I go into that one, I want to say this right quick. This is my final bowl on Mercer. Mercer, y'all hold your heads high, every single one of y'all. Coaching staff, players, y'all played a hell of a game. Y'all did not give up one single time. Y'all come in 9-1. You left 9-2. But in your conference, you're still the leader. Don't forget that. And you went toe-to-toe with the mighty Alabama. You was outclassed, out-talented, but you still fought. You had heart. And that's what I want Alabama to get back to, is having heart. So I was watching y'all. Thank y'all. Hold your heads high. You have nothing to be ashamed of. I just want to say that real quick. All right, now going to not LSU. Mr.
Let's go East.
The OU. We can't blame none of the colleges this year on their schedule. They had no control over it whatsoever, none. Just like we didn't. It was handed to us. This is who y'all are playing, and this is when y'all playing them. Cut and dry. Everybody got that across the board. So, with that being said, I can't really get upset with teams who have a gravy road. You know, the Texas people out there, the Indianas out there, and really the Ohio State people out there. I can't really get mad at them. It's just they're taking care of business what they were handed. But now with that being said, though, OU, in my opinion, now this is just Spencer Reed, this is my opinion. They have a coach. Brent, I think his name is Brent Venables. Venables.
Yeah.
Vent them from winning. Venables. He is not ready.
No.
To coach a head coach in the SEC. Not for long-term coaching. Couple years, maybe, then they'll get rid of it. I'm talking about long-term because he don't know how to put the right staff together, coaching and personnel-wise, to compete in the SEC. Now, with that being said, can a blind squirrel find a nut every once in a while? Yes. Now, he may luck up and beat the SEC team every once in a while. I mean, if everything falls into place, it can happen. That I won't deny. But this OU head coach, he's took on the attitude, the mentality of his mentor, which I understand that. His mentor was Dabo Swinney of Clemson. That's his mentor. I want to make this statement before I turn it over to you. This is what Brent Venables, Coach Venables, said. Quote, if you're visiting other schools, then to me, you're not committed.
Word.
So he's telling his people right there that he don't want you shopping yourself out. No coach does, but you can't knock them for doing it. You can't blame them for doing it. And that attitude's going to keep you from getting good people.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I mean, I just had to put that out there right quick. Go ahead.
No, that's word for word, verbatim. You look it up, VERBATIM over the end of the I. Verbatim what Dabo does. This day and time, if you want to be an NCAA championship team, you better get your ass in the portal sometimes. When you have a player leave, Alabama did this week, Keanu Colt, you traitorous bastard, don't ever try to come back in, get the hell out of here and stay gone. I'm done with you. Colt left. Yeah, so when you buy players like that leave during the midseason, I ain't getting enough playing time. I ain't getting enough this. I don't like that. You know, that bunch of crying shit. So, Mr. Venables, you got to get in the transfer portal, but Dabo Swinney said he does not go in the transfer portal because of the fact that he wants players that have loyalty out of high school and play for him, and he wants to do it, and that'd be great. And if NIL didn't exist and transfer portal didn't exist, that would be fine. And guess what? It does. NIL will lose. We lost 3 players this week on account of NIL money so far. We gained one from Michigan, Ivan Taylor, the defensive back, but we lost 3. And I think all 3 of them were 5 stars. Caleb Cunningham was one of them. But anyway, so Dabo says he does not go in the portal. He ain't going to use the portal. Venable said what you just said. I mean, I'm going to verbatim what he said. And you can't do that. This day and time, you got to use that transfer portal. And that's another thing I'm going to bring up later on as we get into this further on about they got to get guardrails up. This damn transfer portal's got to have some kind of something where you can't, like right now, like that kid's getting a transfer for Alabama, Kenny Coat. I can't say his name. Koht is his last name is Coat. But I'm just saying, he's going to transfer portal. What is it? This what we're 7-2, and that he's leaving during the season. My deal is this, they got to put something up there to stop that. Now he's leaving because he's getting playing times, what he's saying, and all this other bunch of bullshit. But anyway, so that's a whole different animal. What you was asking me, Mr. Spencer, and
No, that's okay. No, on him, you are correct. But you got to keep in mind too, he was suspended.
Yeah.
Coach DeBoyer just suspended him until further notice. So he wasn't willing, I guess, to do what it took to get back on the team. He just wanted to go ahead and leave.
Well, somebody,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
That attitude, I don't want him on the team to begin with. That's just a bad apple, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. It's supposed to have a gun, wasn't it? I mean, from what I understood, he had a gun somewhere.
I have no clue. I don't know. I ain't even going to speculate because I have no clue. I know where mine's at, or all of them. I don't know if he did or not. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know where all 12 of mine are. At any point in time in my house, I can get to one of them in 5 minutes. So any of you crazy people want to come in the house, come on in, but you better say hello, roll tide. But no, it's supposed to have a gun or something along in the effects, and then he don't have to pay the price for it. I mean, did you ever get in trouble with your high school coach? He got you out there on the field and make you run up down the field for doing something?
Oh, yeah. Called 3-ring circus when I was in high school.
Yep.
You had a car tire around your neck and 2 transfers under each arm doing laps around that field. Yeah, I know that one well.
He had us. We had to barrel crawl 100 yards down the field, go out the gate, go up to this, and barrel crawl to the next set of stands on the visitor side, run the stadium steps, come down, barrel crawl, back across 100 yards, and then go back to the other side and do the same thing on the other. And then when you come back on, you had to do 20 100-yard sprints. And if you stopped to walk at any point in time, you got what we call a corporal punishment. He took that, that baseball bat, he called it a paddle, and I mean, he lit your ass up. And I don't mean your ass was numb for 3 days. When you sat down, you couldn't feel nothing. You didn't have to worry about hurting. But yeah, so anyway, this is what the kid did. Ken Cole, I don't want you to take no punishment. I'm not getting the play. I'm not getting this. Me. That ain't the players you want. And them kind of guys, when they reveal their true identity, Spencer, kick them off and down the team. I mean, don't suspend him, so you're gone. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have played with a player that if Cole had done that, what would you have done to him on the field?
I understand. No, you're right. I agree. I can't deny. I agree with you.
I'm trying to make him quit.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We're talking about Oklahoma now.
Okay.
Oklahoma just had a bye week to get ready for us. Their season has been pathetic. I mean, seriously, they were not ready for the SEC. They had no clue except for maybe playing an SEC once, maybe twice a year. Maybe they had no clue about the gauntlet, and they had no clue what type of players that they was going to need to compete in the SEC. So But they've had a bye week. So they've had opportunity. We've got 2 losses. Our first few games were not the best in the world. We had a great first half against Georgia, and then Georgia came back and was curb stomping us in the second half. So they've had opportunity. Their play calling as a coaching staff has sucked all year because obviously they don't have the right personnel, the right coaching staff to be able to game plan on their own. But now they've got all this film study that they can go to and look how other people game plan for us. Look at our tendencies. What plays do we run when so-and-so comes in the game? What defense do we run? Who do we blitz when this person comes in the game? You understand where I'm going with this? So do you think that this bye week has really helped them in their game against us?
This bye week ain't done nothing to give them time to. I'm not disagreeing what you're saying. I'm just taking it from Alabama's side. If Alabama, and I said this last week, the win against LSU before Mercer, obviously, was a foundation stone win for us. That's your cornerstone that you can build going forward. That's what I call the aha moment, the okay, I get it, the eureka moment in this team as a whole, their chemistry. That's their aha moment, their foundation stone. And so that's what I'm looking forward when they go into Oklahoma. We got to go to Norman. And this was part earlier the year we done a Road Warrior segment. I said Tennessee. I said Oklahoma. And there was a third team. I said if we're going to lose a game, that's probably we're going to lose that. Of course, Tennessee did beat us. We were. There's another one. I forgot the third one. We had to be Road Warriors. And we're learning how to win underneath him. So we got all that going on. And now we're headed up to Oklahoma this time. And we got I forgot that kid's name. He's out hurt. He ain't gonna get to play for Oklahoma. And then, by the way, in case y'all ain't heard, Oklahoma's went back to that Arnold guy, that Darnold that couldn't throw the ball.
Jackson Arnold, quarterback.
Yeah, I could wrap the ball around my penis and throw it better than he could down the field. I mean, my God, that guy can.
They don't make a football that small.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying.
Yeah, they don't make them that heavy either. But so anyway, they got Arnold back in the game, and he couldn't even function against Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee had a big part to do it. Their front line was on his ass all night long. Guess what? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to have him confused, just like we did LSU's quarterback. We'd line up like we was going blitz, and we'd back out of it. I think we got them covered. I don't think it's going to be too close a game, Mr. Spencer.
Well, talking about Mr. Jackson Arnold. After this bye week, after everything he just went through, now he ain't all that in a bag of chips, but he is a talented young man. He's a young man who loves the game of football, and, he learns from his mistakes. After a week of study, extra week of study, getting ready for one game. He's had 2 weeks to get ready for one game. I do not think he's going to have three fumbles in the game. I really think they're going to teach the boy how to carry the football, carry the rock, as we call it. I don't think he's going to have that. So if we go in the game with the mentality, we don't have to push. We don't have to rush. We don't have to put pressure because they're going to screw up. We're going in with the wrong mentality. Them turnovers, when we get turnovers, we create them. They create them, whoever. That's just a positive. You do not depend on that as your game plan.
I agree.
I mean, what do you think on that one before I go any further?
Well, you're right. But I want to tell you, I think that Darnold Jackson – for Oklahoma, he does not take care of the ball. I think we want to strip sack him probably, I want to say 3 or 4 times, probably 2 or 3 times. We're going to strip sack. We're going to sack the kid. We're going to get to him early. And Coach Saban used to call it affecting the quarterback. You don't got to sack him You just got to get up, up here in his head and, make him wonder, okay, what are they doing? Are they going to drop back in coverage? Are they sending 6 guys? Are they sending 3 guys? Who's going back in coverage? What am I going to do? When he starts up, what am I going to do? We got him. And that right there is what Tennessee done. But Tennessee just pushed him back and pushed the pocket back and hadn't moved him once. He got a little pressure. He lost it up here in the moment, got too big for him. And he absolutely lost that game for Oklahoma. His quarterback play was pathetic. I could do that good. I'm 58 years old and I got a bad shoulder and a bad leg or whatever, but that was pathetic, man. So I mean, I think our leading, not our leading sacker, or our defensive end that broke his hand or something and he's out. Q Robinson, number 34,
Yeah.
I think. Let's go allow Yunze Pierre, Piere, I think.
Right.
Let's go allow him to play more. And that's what's kidding me about Colt. Colt, hey, Mr. Colt, listen to me. You were going to play a lot more because you were going to get to play. That guy's out for the year and you leave now. And but anyway, let me get off Colt. I'll get pissed at.
Well, I really don't think it was a playing time on his reason going into the transfer portal. I think he was not willing to do whatever the coach was saying you have to do to work your way back on the team. You got to do X, Y, and Z. No matter, I don't know if it's cop ride-alongs. I don't know what it was. If he had to shine his shoes, clean his guns. I don't know what it was. But I think that he did not want to do it, so he left. That's my opinion on that one.
You're right. That could definitely be part of it. I mean, not more willing to pay the price for getting caught doing something stupid. Okay, that's fine. Then don't do it. But whenever you
yeah, if I get arrested, I don't want to go to jail, but I don't have no choice in it. I can't transfer back to another jail. I got to go to jail they carry me to. So just saying. Anyway.
No, I agree with you.
As far as this Jackson Arnold goes, I really don't think he's going to mess up as far as carrying the ball as much as he did against Missouri. I really don't. But I do agree with your comment on how Alabama needs to approach him is the same way Tennessee did. Is you got to put pressure on him quick, early, and constant. Because once you get him kind of shaking in his boots and seeing ghosts, he will fall. He'll make throwing errors. If nothing else, he'll kneel down and do 5-10 losses for you when you're doing dropbacks. You can milk the daylights out of them just by making him see ghosts.
And I'll tell you another thing also is hang on a minute. When Mr. Stab went down, Bryson Hubbard come in, that other safety.
Right.
And I don't know if they did it because of him in particular, or if it did it because as a team, but that defense has played a lot better in the secondary with Bryson Hubbard back there. And I'm not talking bad about Sab. I'm just saying sometimes the chemistry between 4 guys is better than the chemistry between another 4 guys. And when you get that chemistry, you can make all kind of things, just the quarterbacks, wide receivers and quarterbacks. Whenever you see go ahead, I got you covered. Whenever you see a quarterback throwing to a guy like Ryan Williams all day, guess why? Guys, he's got chemistry, Mr. Jeff Stapleton, and if you see him throwing to a tight end, Mr. Dupree, George Lambert, all the time, he's got chemistry. Okay, well, this kid, Sab, he's a pretty good ball player, but Bryson Hubbard, and I'm going to try to make this sound right to you. You have practice players and you have game players. Some guys just do not practice as well as they play in a game, and some guys don't play in the game as well as they practice. Guess what? Mr. Hubbard, he is a gamer. During practice, I guarantee he ain't as good, but you put him under the lights and under the pressure, and he's like a gem. He's turning into a diamond. He's going to play good for you. So I think that's where our defense has picked up. Yunze Pierre, he's going to get an opportunity. I'm going to tell you, we're going to go after Darnold hard and heavy. Mr. Darnold, Tennessee showed us what we could do against you to get you affected, get you shook up, and get you seeing ghosts, and get you to run out of that pocket before you should have. Now, I think we are. I think he's going to turn the ball over. He himself, I think will get 2 strip sacks because, like you say, He carries the ball with one hand, and he keeps it swung out here wide. And he's going to throw probably 2 or 3 interceptions. And unless we go in there and just sit down, we're going to handle Oklahoma. Oklahoma ain't got the horses that I thought they did. And the main problem with that is, and I'll let you get talk, Mr. Spencer, on the main problem.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Their head coach is not ready. You said at the beginning, and I've said it earlier in the year, they're going to fire him and they're going to fire that Florida guy. For some reason, they gave Napier a contract extension. What the fuck is that about? You know, but anyway, so I figure Ole Miss is going to lose their quarterback. Did you listen, Mr. Cunningham, the wide receiver that switched from Alabama, you decommitted, going to go to Ole Miss? Listen to me. Your coach ain't going to be there in a couple of years. He's either going to be at Oklahoma or he's going to be at Florida. I'm just telling you. Then you have to transfer again. So come on, drop that Ole Miss, that shit out of your head, and come on down here. Our coach is going to be here. We're going to make a star out of you. You're not going to be a triple team because Ryan Williams is there. But, I mean, you know, that's football. And so, you know, we're ready. And Ole Miss ain't going to do this again, Mr. Caleb. They bought all in this year. They're trying to get it this year. Because this is the best year they got. Because they number one, they know Alabama's got a new coach. We're a little bit off. They know Florida ain't going to be as good because Napier ain't doing good. And you look around, the only team they had to worry about was Georgia, and they beat the hell out of them at home. So they should make the playoffs. And that, however much money they spent, Mr. Spencer, did you hear $100 million or something? I don't know. They wasn't $100 million. So how much they spent. But, you know, it is what it is. Would you go ahead with what you want to say about it?
No, I mean, you just brought up a good point, made me go,
Uh-oh.
Talking about Mr. Kippy there. You say Kippy won't be at Ole Miss for 2 more years.
Right.
But you was naming off college teams. You don't think that a pro team's going to hire him? Not even as an offensive coordinator?
I don't see
He can make more money as an offensive coordinator he is making as a head coach.
I agree he can make more money. But, you know, I think he's a college coach. I don't think there's a pro bone in his body anywhere. There's nothing about him that screams pro. Some guys you can look at and it just seems, something about him just seems to holler pro. But he just seems to holler quarterback. Here's what I'm thinking. At Ole Miss, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it to win an Ole Miss year in, year out?
6.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, year in, year out, how easy is it to win at Oklahoma?
7.
Okay, same question about Florida.
Whoa, excuse me. 7 in the past. SEC a 3.
Okay, well that's what I mean. Winning every year, 10 being the easiest, 1 being the hardest to win. Is it easier to win in Oklahoma or easier to win at Ole Miss? Is it easier to win in Florida or is it easier to win in Ole Miss? That's my point. He's going to leave Ole Miss for an easier college. It's got more money that can get him. He ain't got to work as hard. It'd be like you know, they say Spencer will give you 4 workers that are the best you ever had and then make you look good and you'll go, okay, I'll take them. And that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to go to either Oklahoma. I really think Oklahoma is going to, I'm going to tell you, Oklahoma, he'll be a damn good coach. He's an offensive coach. If he will get him a defensive coordinator and he got that money down at Ole Miss, you see how good they done down there this year. That ain't going to happen again next year. You can forget it. But I think he's going to go wind up at Oklahoma. I think at the end of the year, I think, what's Oklahoma's coach? I'm getting Dabo Swinney.
Venables.
Yeah, Brett Venables. I think Brett's going to get fired and Dabo's going to say, hey, come on back to Clemson. Oklahoma's going to have a coach. And who else out there going to have a coach? I don't know. But I just think they're going to take a run at Kiffin because Kiffin's a great offensive mind. He's a great offensive mind. And so if they can get him a defensive coordinator, look out. But it's easier to win there. I think he'll be gone.
Okay. I was just curious about that. I had to talk about that one. I really did. But
I didn't mean to carry on. I apologize.
No, you didn't. No, that was good. That was cool. I like that because you know it's this day and time. All the talking heads really want to just talk about the playoffs. I don't want to go there yet. I'm gonna wait. I ain't gonna get into that argument yet. Give me a second. I want to go on with our Oklahoma game we got coming up.
Go ahead. I want to be
OU, their offensive line injury report looks like a MASH unit in a time of war. Them poor people are beat all to hell and back. I mean, I do feel sorry for Oklahoma for all their injuries that they've had to go through before the season started and during the season. But
not me.
it hurt my feelings because you got to play us, but I'm just saying their sideline looks like a MASH unit. But with that being said, us old timers at Alabama, us old timers that's been here, we've seen the Bear Bryant days, we've seen the Shula days. Oh, anyway, I don't want to start crying here. But we've seen some bad times at Alabama. We've gone through injuries. We've gone through bad recruiting. We've gone through bad players. But every once in a while, we've seen coaches who, by some miracle, some fairy dust or something, sprinkled it out on these replacement players that they just jailed. I mean, they just hit it. I mean, each one of them felt they complemented each other. One's weakness was the other one's strength. The other one's strength was somebody else's weakness. They kind of jailed. So this offensive line group that they're pulling out of a hat for Oklahoma to face us this weekend, there is a possibility that they hit the magic number and they jail, and if they slow down or stop our blitz packages, that we're not putting pressure on what's his name again, Jackson.
It don't matter. He can't scratch him.
Anyway, if we didn't put pressure on him, it could be a long damn night. Just saying, it does happen. Go ahead.
It can happen, but he ain't worth a damn. I think what happened to him up here, he is mentally shot, and I think they put him out there too soon. He should have been on the sideline doing something else with somebody else, because I think he got shot up here, and I think he's over with. It's like they're getting the pros, they're getting the deep end too quick. I just don't. We should beat Oklahoma by 30. And here's what I'm telling you guys: the schedule. When you play an SEC schedule for all this time, and one game at a time, like when you first play somebody in the SEC, you might be able to play them for the first game. You play Tennessee, and you might play with them for a little while, and then you play Georgia, you play with them for a little less, and you play Alabama a little less. As you go look through that strength of that schedule, of that hell that you got to go through called the SEC, when you do that, you start wearing down, tearing down. I think that's what's happened to Oklahoma. I think they've given up, and I think they've actually quit on Venables. Just like I think the Louisiana State has quit on their coach. That's another guy. Next year, he's going to start out on a real warm seat. I'm not saying they're going to fire him, but if he goes 9-3 next year, the following year he will be on a firing seat if he don't get in there and get in the championship playoffs. I'm serious. LSU ain't got it. Whatever it is they do, I'm off the point, but LSU does not have what it takes. Oklahoma does not have what it takes. I'm talking about these coaches that's going to be in trouble now. Oklahoma, LSU, Florida. Auburn ain't nothing. You can forget it. Auburn, you ain't going to be much better than 8-4 with this guy that you got now. You can think what you want. But so we're going to annihilate Oklahoma, and we're going to take care of business. But go ahead. What you was going to say, Doug?
No, I was going to bring up on my closing statements on the Oklahoma game coming up. They've had a full extra week to prepare for us. They have. They, like I said earlier, their coaching staff has no clue right now how to scheme and coach in the SEC. But this extra week has gave them time to learn from other coaches, other games. So I'm just saying that that's a major help to them. But for me, what I want to see in this game is what Alabama did this week. I hope Alabama did a lot of self-scouting, knowing that Oklahoma, their coaches are just grasping at straws trying to find out and recreate what worked other teams did, the other schemes that other teams did against us that worked. Write them down, write them down, write them down, teach. Their players will do the same thing. So I hope we did some major self-scouting on both sides of the ball, offensive and defense. Because even though I am very pleased with our new defensive formula, what we're doing, we're still starting to get a little bit predictive here. When certain players come in, we do this. When this one comes in, we do that. We're starting to get a little bit predictable. We got to be careful with that. That's just me. I hope we've done a shitload of self-scouting and get ready for it. Before I go any further, before I turn that over to you, also, I want them to do self-scouting and have a damn sheet of paper over there going, if they do this against this defense, here's the in-game adjustments we're going to do. Have it ready. Have it down there. Now, you may have to adjust a little bit on that one, but at least do self-scouting and have an in-game adjustment ready, not the halftime adjustment. I'm talking about the in-game, the first half. Then come halftime, you make your full adjustments. What do you think? Go ahead, AT.
Right there with you. Is Oklahoma going to come out and try to run the ball against us in certain sets? They're going to come out and try to throw the ball in certain sets. So you got to be able to look out and see, okay, they bring in number 84 on the right side, and they're going to run this play. You got to know what's kind of coming. You're right. I agree with you. You got to make your play-by-play adjustments, and that's what we never could do under Golden, and he's down in Ole Miss. But we have got to make, and we did against LSU. We made in-game adjustments, and we stopped LSU from ever getting into the game. They never did make – go ahead.
I will. Go ahead.
They never did make it into what I consider their winning way of football. You know, we played 4 quarters, and they played a half a quarter maybe. You know, I mean, we shut them down, shut them out, kicked them in, kicked them out, and we made them go home and say we lost. And I want to tell you, against Oklahoma – at Oklahoma, as long as the guys, the first-year starters, do not get up here in their head, you get out there and let it loose. Play football like you know to. Don't, act like you're at Alabama. You're home, and them fans are yelling and screaming. In your mind, say that's Alabama fans hollering for us, and don't let it get up here in your head like it did against Tennessee. Like I said, when you play in a hostile environment, you've got to be able to handle it and not get nervous. The first thing you do is get nervous, you're in trouble. The game's going to be a long way out of your reach. So you'll stay up here where you're supposed to be. And when we go to Oklahoma, I'm telling you, we hit Norman, that first quarter is going to tell me if we got that foundation stone that I talked about against LSU, because they're going to come out playing rough, hard, and heavy. And listen, Oklahoma has a good team. But they went through, what 9 games I think they played also? 9 games. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's beat up. Hell, Spencer, you played, your ankles are hurt, your shoulders hurt, your stomach's got, your head, and you got bruises and all this. So what are you willing to do? How mental tough are you? It's like Saban said, what does it take to break you? And he meant up here, he didn't mean in your legs. What does it make you to say, I'm out of here, forget it, I'm done. Right. So on the road against Oklahoma, I'm going to start right now. And if we're not favored by 14 points, I'm taking Alabama anyhow. I'm going to take Alabama anyhow. But we should be at least a 14-point favorite against Oklahoma. And then, of course, Auburn and Voodoo and all that stuff they do. So are we at home against Auburn? Just had a quick question.
I don't think so. I think we play them in their home. I have to look it up. I think this is a away game.
Hey, Stephen Hicks, when y'all know if we're at Auburn?
George, MFR. Put it up there right quick. I'm sorry, I had to pull it up. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's home, because to me, I think we're playing Auburn at Auburn. I really do. I could be wrong on that, but I think we are.
I think you're right. I think we are at Auburn. I ain't sure, but so anyway, if we go to Auburn, guys, that's going to be harder at Auburn. Yeah, we're at home.
No, we're at home. Okay.
Okay, so Oklahoma is really my last worry because I don't think Peyton Thorne's worth a fuck. And I hope he's listening. Peyton Thorne's the worst quarterback in the SEC, the worst quarterback in the ACC, and over at UNA they got a better quarterback. So unless we just go in there and lay down, Auburn ain't going to do it. So Oklahoma's going to be our last test, if you will, in certain areas because they got that front four is pretty damn good. And I look for them to get on them pretty quick in a hurry against Oklahoma. But, our defensive coordinator, Mr. Womack, I'm proud of you, sir. You took a ass chewing, you took a ass reaming, you took your ass getting whooped, and you done it with style, and you never showed your butt. Your dad's there helping you, everybody, and Nick Saban there, all these guys, and you're listening. You're not going, I'm doing it my way. Y'all shut up, Dad, go away. You're not being a spoiled brat or anything. Your dad's there to help. You're listening. And if you're always, and Spencer, y'all play football, you've always heard this. No matter what happens, you got to remain coachable. And that's what he's done. Our defensive coordinator, Mr. Womack, I'm sir, hey, listen, I'm proud of you. You could have said, the hell, we don't do it my way, and we could have lost 3 games or more, 4 games or more. So I look, Womack's daddy is a real big addition to us, just like Lane Kiffin's dad, Monty Kiffin, he created the cover crew at Tampa. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you remain coachable, we're going to be fine, brother. So, I ain't worried about that. But let's talk about the playoffs a little bit. Can we talk about the playoffs as far as the rankings go for a little bit? Or
Let's go for it, bro. You start off with it. Go. We have no picture to put up.
Oh, you don't have
Icebox, you got frozen balls. They couldn't find it. So, go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, well, I'm surprised he got balls. At his age, I figured he done lost them. He going to zap my
ass. Find them. Go ahead.
I'm going to click on this. I brought it. I know y'all can't see it, but the college football playoff, this is week 13 bracket projection, guys. This definitely ain't going to win like this exactly, but it's going to be something like this. The first round, the way they got it set up, you got they've got BYU at 12 playing number 5 Ohio State, and that's the first round. And Ohio State gets a bye because they're number 5. Ohio State gets that game at home, so it's Ohio State and BYU. And then the other first round matchups is going to be Alabama. We're ranked 9th, and we're playing according to this. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's number 8, so we're going up there to that ugly ass state called Indiana, that godforsaken, and then somebody never wiped their ass up there. And so you got Notre Dame, and then the Georgia. They showing Georgia at 11, and Penn State is ranked. Let me get my glasses. I got my eyes there good. Penn State is who they're playing, and Penn State's ranked 6th. And right now they got Ole Miss at 10, playing at Indiana, ranked 7. So that's your first round. BYU's a 12 seed. Georgia's 11. Ole Miss is 10. Alabama's 9. Notre Dame is ranked 8th. This is the power ranking for the playoffs, not an actual AP, UP. This is going to be different. Alabama is 9, and Notre Dame is 8. And then you got the 7th rated Indiana. And again, you got 6 Penn State and 5 Ohio State. So the winners will go on to play. And get this, and here's where it really hurts me, and I can't stand it. The 2 worst teams in the playoff are getting buys. Boise State was winning the Pac-1. So they're ranked 4th. They get a home game. And then they get the bye, excuse me. And then Oregon, that's fine. Oregon ranked number 1. They get the first round bye. Miami, that's another one. Miami gets a bye, and Texas at number 2 gets a bye. That's your 4 teams. Oregon 1, Texas 2, Miami 3, and Boise State 4. So that's your 12-team playoff. And so Boise State, guys, ranked 4th. Does anybody out there in this entire country, any one of y'all actually believe that Boise State is ranked 4th ahead of any of the SEC schools? And y'all think they should be there? I know, get this. I know they're They won their conference. The Pac won. They won their conference, so they get a home game. Excuse me, they get a bye, and then they play the.
Hey, just so you know, you're showing a lot of stadium, but just letting you know.
Yeah, let me back out of
You're
here.
one eyeing a lot there.
Let me back up here a minute, and I'll get this
If
straightened
you
out.
put a patch over that eye, it'd be cool as hell. But I'm just saying.
I apologize. I had that pulled up. So anyway, guys, okay. Thank you for doing that. Let me get back to this screen.
Please.
It's my fault, guys. Thank you for doing that. So anyway, so is anybody, Spencer? Do you believe Boise State's a fourth-ranked team? Should they be ranked ahead of any of these? Ohio State, Alabama, even Notre Dame, Georgia, Penn State, and Ole Miss. Does anybody out there think Boise State should be ranked ahead of them just because they won the Pac? They get a first round bye because they won their damn conference. Does anybody think Boise State's the fourth ranked fucking team in the country? Any of you? Anybody that goddamn ignorant?
Before I get started on my rant, I got to wait for you. But you asked me this question.
Come on.
Should they be fourth ranked? They took Tennessee out of this ranking. Tennessee. This was their second loss. They took Tennessee out. Tennessee would wipe the fucking field with Boise.
Yeah.
Vandy will beat Boise.
Yeah.
SMU of ACC would beat Boise.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Before I get my rant, you go right ahead.
I'm enjoying this. Like I said, this right here is what I want to get to the Boise State. And anybody pulled up? I'm sorry, hang on. And then y'all pulled up what the Pac-12 is, or who's in the Pac, whatever they call it. It used to be the Pac-12. But anybody pulled up what's in that conference? I know off the top of my head, you got Boise State, you got Fresno State, and you got of course Washington State's still there for now. And I've got the other teams. They're all like Boise State, Fresno State, and there's another. Not San Jose State, but the Pac-12 is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. That's the worst conference. They should not be in the Power 5. They should be. Everybody knows it's called the Power 4 now. But so you got Boise State, and they're in there. Okay, nobody believes that. So who's next? Let's see. We got Miami. And I'm gonna pull Miami up. And I'm gonna pull this schedule up. I want to show you here Miami. Here's Miami's schedule.
Don't be jerking Miami off.
Sir?
You said you're going to pull up Miami. Don't be jerking Miami off.
Okay. Let me get this straightened back up. So anyway, Miami and their schedule. Have y'all looked at Miami's schedule?
No.
My God. I mean, they started off at Florida, and of course they beat Florida 41-17. That's back when Florida still ain't worth a damn. They still ain't worth that. And their second game is Florida A&M. They've won it 56-9. Then they're at Ball State. Then they're at South Florida. I know South Florida gave us a little bit of a fit, some stuff. I know it. They beat them about the same, 50-15. And here's the first team they played. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth game here, they played a team of the Pulse named Virginia Tech. 5 games before they played a team of the Pulse. They beat Virginia Tech 38-34. Virginia Tech's the 6-4, 7-3 kind of team. Then they played the Big Cal Bears. I mean, my Lord, California Bears, and they beat them 39-38, guys. 1 point. Okay, and then the following next week after that, the other team they played with the Pulse was Louisville. They beat Louisville 52-45, and I think Louisville's starting quarterback was hurt for that game. Their backup, I think, might have played some. And then they played Florida State. Florida State, that's a real tough team this year. What are them bastards? 1-8. So they beat Florida State 36-14. Then they played Duke. Duke had a heartbeat, but they beat them 53-31. Then they finally play a team that's got a real winning record. That's Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech beat them 28-23. I know you play close games. As long as you win every game by 1 point in the year, you're going to be national champs, and I get that. But This is their schedule. And in the remaining schedule, they got Wake, fracking Forest, and Syracuse. UNA would go undefeated. Let's go back over it one more time. Florida, Florida A&M, Ball State, South Florida, Virginia Tech, California, Louisville, Florida State, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. Now, then y'all out there think that what's going to happen? They're going to win their conference, and they're going to be able to get in the playoffs. Hang on a minute. I'm sorry, I apologize. I ain't got this, guys. I'm still getting used to my camera stuff. Anybody out there believe Miami should be ranked in the top 10? Maybe 11 or 12, but they don't. I mean, they're going to win their conference. And again, that's where these guardrails have got to go up for these damn playoffs. Just because you win the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, Big 10, Big Dick, Little Dick, Thumb Dick, whatever, that don't mean you should be a top 14 just because you won their conference. You know, Mr. Spencer, what do you think, about Miami? I mean, what's your thoughts on them?
Well, first of all, as far as Miami goes, I'm impressed that they've done as good as they have. It's about damn time. I mean, they have been dumping millions and millions in the NIL and transfer portal. I am glad they're even in the discussion over there. But to me, they still ain't shit yet. They still got ways to go. Now, that's the Miami part of it. But now let me go into what you're talking about right now as far as where everybody stays in a playoff committee, where everybody's set. What do I think about this? What do I think about that? This is what I think about. It just don't damn matter. We got the rest of the season to play off. This is all can change. Alabama loses one damn game from here to the end. We're out. Anybody with a 6-2 record, 72 record, they got 2 losses, they lose one more game, they're fucking out. This is going to work its way out, y'all. This is going to break it down. It really is. It's going to break down. Be patient. I don't know why all these talking heads are wasting their fucking time on this shit. I really don't. Because it don't damn matter right now where everybody's at. We can discuss this at the end of the season. I got a whole damn dialogue and notes of shows I'm going to do after the season talking about how fucked up this is. It's on. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be great. Because they set up a system to fail. It's like the guy who has the job getting paid with a damn brass hammer that hit the top of a missile. If it don't explode, it's a failure. Well, what happens if it does explode? It is set up to fail.
Yeah.
Go ahead, AT. I'm sorry, bro. You got me off on one of my tangents. Go ahead.
Hey, Icebox, did you see that statement by Mr. Chris Kemp? Mr. Kemp don't know me. He don't know what's going on. And I want to just tell you this, Mr. Kemp, it's none of your business, but I want to tell you this one time. I want you to understand, I'm not wired. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything that would cause this, but there is something going on. It's none of your business. And I don't know if you're meaning to be hardwired, mean about it or mean-spirited about it some, but really.
What?
He put down on I'm wired to the gills. He's laughing his ass off, and I don't know if he knows what's wrong, and ain't none of his business.
I think you might have took that the wrong way. I don't think he meant it that way. I don't think he meant it negative. I could be wrong. I don't think he meant it negative.
That's why I'm not yelling and screaming. I'm just saying, if that's what he is, then I'm just letting him know I'm not, brother. But anyway, so we'll get back to this. Let me pull that back up.
We were talking about it just don't damn matter. We got to play out. It's going to change. It's going to fix itself to the end. Then the decisions they make at the end, we got a whole damn offseason to talk about.
Well, you better hope it does, because I'm telling you now, if I'm going to be a pissed off individual. I mean, Miami played like a 98 strength of record. Did somebody pull it up? What's their strength of schedule? Pull up Boise State strength of schedule.
I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. I don't.
Hang on. They're getting a bye week. It does matter. They're getting a bye week to be healthy. Let's see. We're going to play. If it's going to change, because right now we play Notre Dame and then we play Oregon. That's fine. Oregon, they're a great team. They had a good schedule, and they deserve where they're at. Boise does not belong in the top four, and neither does Miami, and that's my opinion about Miami. But Boise's a damn joke. One of them roll tide eyes up, put on there. San Jose State. That's one of their Pac-12s. That's who they got. A bunch of bullshit. I mean, you ain't gonna be mad about it right now if you don't want to, but that's why I wanted to bring up the college football playoffs because of this. The number one ranked team, Oregon, yeah, I could see that. Texas, I could see that. 3, Miami, hell no. All you gotta do is watch Miami and see there's something not wrong. There's something that's not right with their defense, and they're just something. The only reason they're there is Cam Ward. Cam Ward is a damn good quarterback, and he's doing a good job, but they're not any good, Spencer. They really ain't. And when they play somebody, they're going to get big again. And then, of course, the third-ranked team, like I said, is Miami. Fourth is Boise State. Boise and Miami are going to cause this playoff to change. That right there in the Power 5, that Power 5, group of 5, I think it's going to be Tulane. If Tulane gets in over, let's say, I don't know, let's pick a 10-2 team out of the SEC. Should Tulane get in over them because they won their conference as the highest ranked group of 5? Do they belong in the playoffs, Spencer? Does Tulane belong in over, I don't know, Alabama or Tennessee at 10-2?
No.
Okay, one of them is going to happen. Something's going to happen. One of them group of 5 teams, and I think Tulane's the highest ranked. Y'all can pull it up and look at it for yourself.
All right. Let me stop you right quick. I understand where you're going with this. But this is going to be some shows for the off season. But what they're creating is they're going to leave out a 10-2 SEC team that could just wipe the field with somebody they gave a bye week to, somebody they put in there. That's going to give the SEC that much more ammo to break off or do their own thing. We'll talk about this later. We're going to talk about this later. I'm telling you, this is where all this is going. But right now, we're a little bit over the hour, so give me your final words, bro.
I don't know. I got a bunch of words. I mean, I got absolutely. You know, this football playoff guys, we got to have guardrails put on stuff like the NIL. We had a kid leave. Baker, Baker, his dad thought he deserved more money. I'm on the NIL transfer portal, what it's doing to the game. Okay, that's got to have guardrails. If you're wanting to quit a team like the kid did Alabama this week, Ken, a coach, if you want to transfer to another team, that's fine. Let's put guardrails on. You have to set out a year from the day you leave that team to the time you get back on anybody's team. Put a guardrail. They got to set out an entire year from whenever that happened. Whenever, I don't give a damn what it is. Make them set out an entire year. That's one thing. And that'll stop you should do this. Coach, I don't feel like doing it. Like you said, he did not want to run the laps. He didn't want to do the push-ups. He didn't want to get out there in the heat and do what he was to get back on the team and get good standards. So the NIL, he's going to leave, and he's going to get somebody else going to pay him. And he ain't got to be a man. He ain't got to learn his lesson. He ain't got to do a damn thing except quit and go somewhere else. NCAA, if you got a pair of balls left, y'all better do something now. Listen to me. Do it fucking now. Because if you don't, NIL is going to change teams 30, 40 players every year. You're going to have 30, 40 players at SEC. It's going to just 40 down and everybody with new players. The transfer portal, again, if you transfer, you got to set out your NIL money, and you got to have some kind of control over it where a team can have, I don't know, pick a number, 100 million. That's all you can spend on your team, like a salary cap for the Dallas Cowboys. They only pay so much for players for so much money. Put a salary cap on them because you got to. If you don't, I'm not talking about Nico in a bad way. Nico's getting paid just like some of our players are. He's a damn good player, and he deserves the money. Guardrail. Put a salary cap on the money. Guardrail. Put a time limit on the transfer. If you transfer out in March, you can't go to another team. You cannot go to another campus. You cannot talk to them till March. Then you see if somebody wants you. When you go, you should not be able to transfer to another team for an entire year. That's my rant. That's my rave. And You ain't got to agree with me, guys, but if we don't do something about this transfer portal right now, it's going to be too late tomorrow because it's going to ruin college football, Mr. Spencer.
Nah, well, I mean, I agree with you. And all this is damn good reasons y'all all need to stay in tune with us, Bam Down Sports, after this football season's over with. Because these old men, we've seen things, we know things. We're going to bring all this up to y'all. Why? Why this is happening? What's going to happen like we've done in the past? It's going to be awesome. If y'all get an opportunity, please, if anybody out there wants to give $1, $2, over to Bam Down Sports, send somebody to a ball game. This is not stopping after the football season. If we don't have enough money donated in our GoFundMe fund to send somebody, because these games, as they roll down, will get more expensive. We might not be able to send somebody to one. But after football season, we have basketball, we have men, women, softball, we have all kinds of Alabama sports events we can send people to if they want to go. So if y'all have an opportunity, you got any money to spend whatsoever, please put it in there because all the money goes back to y'all. Every dime goes back to y'all, straight up. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, AT. Go ahead, brother. I saw a little pinky there.
Hey, Chris, I'm trying to read his question. Can you read it, Spencer? And make it. I'm trying to figure out what your question is so I can try to answer you. If you wouldn't be an asshole earlier, then I apologize. I just took it the wrong way. But he says, why I feel like Keanu Coat, probably why I didn't, situation, I don't know that word, QCR, getting hurt, causing me to feel like the D kind of, I don't know what that's saying. I apologize, Chris. I don't know your question. But I know you need to get in bed. You're an old man and all that, Spencer, and then you need to be dressed because goddamn.
But Chris, if you want to explain yourself, and if it's something just to damn degrade AT, please email us at bamdownsports.com. I'll be happy to share it with him. So if it's really a personal shot, please let me read it. bamdownsports@gmail.com. Send it, brother. We will share it everywhere. Just say.
Chris is not making a dig. What he's saying is that Canoe, whatever his name situation with it, I guess he got hurt, causing me to feel like the D is going to need some depth at some point. So he must have been for the defense, and I guess him transferring is what he was getting at. Q-Rob. Once he's seen what you was talking about, AT, he doesn't mean to offend you. I gathered that a while ago. He said so.
Well, you look like a psycho fucker. I wouldn't want to piss you off either.
I tell you, I fucked some psychos in the past.
I knew that was eating on you just a little bit, but no, I would come in here and take up for you if somebody really was doing that. And
again, listen, Mr. Kemp, I apologize to you. And like I said, that guy over here, that's over here to that guy, that's an ugly motherfucker.
And he don't know his east from his west either, Chris. So
I don't. I really don't. I really, truly don't.
All right,
please take us out of here. Please take us out here with the Mighty Bear Bryant. Thank you, AT. Had a good time, brother. Thank you.
Get your ugly ass off my screen.
You've got to be better in all three areas of life, which of course are spiritual, mental, and physical. You must be able to discipline yourself. If you don't learn but one thing out of football, it'll be worthwhile. There's certain sacrifices that you will have to make. There are going to be many sacrifices you have to make in later life. To fight. Oh, I don't mean fist fight. I mean to get up and come back and get up and come back and get up and come back again after you've been knocked down. And that could happen to you in later life. But if it does, you're going to know how to handle it. There's no one that ever has or ever will accomplish anything alone. I've read about self-made men. That's Tommy rot, as far as I'm concerned. I don't even know how to define intangibles. And I know that if you learn these lessons, you'll have it. And if you have it, you'll win, and you'll be better prepared in those 3 areas of life that we've been talking about. That there are going to be times for everyone that you're going to get discouraged. But if you never lose sight of your objective and never give up on yourself, if we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now,